distant, and you will be loved and forgotten. The soothsayers have spoken the last words. It has been an honor to watch your journey to the work table's edge. Now go and burn. Burn.
First two-legged beings did prosper under the first sun, but it didn't matter how much they bathed in its light. They craved more. They sought to cage the sun, harness its power, and make it theirs. But the makers in their foresight had put the sun far, far away. So far that no creature could reach it. That's why, in their desperation, the two-legged ones began to collect matches, lighting them like minuscule suns of their own. But there are only so many matches in this world, and one day they'll run out, and they shall once again look to the sun.
wretched gut feeling like something was up, like something was on the way, a danger I never could have guessed. I figured that's just how I always feel, and my worries seldom come true. And now here I am, and I have been for some time now, and it just won't come back. I don't think it... While I had it, I didn't know what to do with it, how to care for it, enjoy it. But if I had it again tonight, I'd probably waste it all over again.
Once upon a time, some folk on the other side of this and that had the most strange and beautiful dream. I hope that tonight you caught a glimpse of it, and I wish you the levity and grace to smile in the darkest of times and on the way down your midnight walk.
She came back one day from a long while of rock-picking under the gnarly trees. Usually the Merkel had been fond of fall and the refreshing cool of winter, but this time it had been much too long for her taste. Even the sun seemed tired, and she had all the rocks she needed, so she decided to treat herself to a long nap. The Merkel dreamt many dreams of the mysterious moon and the critters living within its craters, and of the ocean and its deep secrets known only to the sea creatures and the corals, and of the twinkling stars that had so much to tell, but they were too far away to be heard. All of it intertwined in a colorful tapestry. And so she woke with a yawn, so big it could have devoured the sun. She had slept for just about a decade. A decent nap by Merkel's standards. She smacked her dry lips, looking forward to what the new dawn had to offer as she left her lair and went out into the cool night. "Wait a minute," she exclaimed. "Night?" Where was the sun? Where its warm rays should have been there was only the vast night sky, not a star on its face. Well, the Merkel mumbled softly to herself, winter was late, so now the sun must be late too. Proud over her sound logic, she went back to her lair to take a complimentary nap. The Merkel had taken a nap that had lasted 2 decades. Now that counts as oversleeping even by Merkel standards. She had awoken anxiously this time, feeling misplaced and confused. The confusion grew further into panic when she was greeted not by the sun's life-giving caress, but once again by the silently mocking night sky. There was one star out that night, and it glowed a cold red. "Who took the sun away?" the Merkel asked it. But it was too distant, so she could not hear its reply if it had one. The Merkel had never felt so empty and alone. Lost in quiet despair, she managed to open up to the winds and followed their gentle push south down the midnight walk and to the Darklands. Along the walk, she met the old soul fisher with whom she'd shared many a teacup in her days. Is that the Merkel I see? Another decade, another teacup, eh? He chuckled, but the Merkel sure wasn't in the mood to discuss teacups. Who took the sun away, soul fisher? Surely it wasn't caught by your hook. After pondering for a good minute, the soul fisher answered, "Well, there have been whispers among the fish and corals about a loathsome, hungry Mulgrim roaming the swamps. Perhaps it knows. By the time the Soulfisher looked up from under his big hat, the Merkel had already continued down the road. After a long while of following oversized snail-like tracks in the mud, trudging deeper and deeper into the mushroom-ridden swamps, the Merkel heard a harrowing howl. Up on a hill stood a looming figure, dark and still in the quiet of the night. Lo and behold, the Mulgrim, she thought to herself in slack-jawed awe. She greeted the creature with a quivering voice and, unable to restrain herself, asked, "Do you know who took the sun away?" Talking to monsters had never been any Merkel's forte, but this meeting proved spectacularly disastrous. Barely escaping the gnashing teeth of the Mulgrim, she managed to escape by jumping into a lake, following its stream away from the swamps. Although the Mulgrim was far behind her, she could still hear its melancholy howl. Mad with grief, she mumbled, "As I will be, unless I find the sun again." Tired from running, she searched for shelter and found a dark, dank cave. Cozy, even by Merkel's standards. The wind blew cold in the cave, its whispers strangely soothing to the Merkel. As it turned out, the whispering belonged to a pack of starving crawlers who had begun circling her, their language known only to the dark itself. "What are you searching for, little limb tree?" they sounded in guttural unison. "These are dark days, and your kind does not belong anymore." The Merkel gathered her courage. "I am looking for the sun. I know you crawlers eat fire for dinner. Did you eat it?" They sniffed her lantern hungrily, and instinctively, she offered its flame to them. The crawlers cackled like mad chickens. "Keep your fire clailing. Take it to the dark itself. Mayhaps there you shall find answers." Before the poor little Merkel could shriek, the crawlers had gone with the wind. Knowing not where to find the dark itself, everything looked pretty dark to her. The Merkel found her way back on the road, further away from home than she had ever been. The hills were looking stranger by the hour. The rocks upon them seemed to move. They were the head people, a peaceful yet grumpy sort who didn't take kindly to somebody's perusing their lands. They muttered at her as she passed them, but she couldn't make out their words. "What's that, little headlings? Are you saying you know who took the sun away?" But the heads only grunted and rolled away, back to the safety of their huts. The road went on, and the shadows grew all around her. Was this the dark itself? Not sure whether she was alone, she asked out loud, "Does anyone out here know who took the sun away. By the side of the road lay 3 peculiar faceless and person-sized doors wrapped in muddy bandages. A stone's throw away lay some strange masks. The Merkul followed her instincts and put the masks back on. And the dolls did come to life. They began to dance a haunting dance around her, and before she knew it, she was dancing too. When it was all over, their masks fell off and they went back to lifelessness. The Merkul silently thanked the dolls for the dance and went on her way, deeper into absolute darkness. Before she knew it, the little Merkul, lost and tired, came to stand before the dark itself, with a burning question clenched in her fist. She felt like punching the dark with it, screaming it out like the howling Morgrim, laughing it out like the starving crawlers who had nothing left to eat but the hope of others. Who took the sun away? It then asked the Merkul. Its voice sounded like a dark forest, deep and ancient. It wasn't you, the Merkul retorted. You're its complete opposite. Surely you must be the reason it's gone. The dark then replied, I am but the absence of light, not its adversary. Light is because I am. How could I possibly hold it in my possession? The Merkul felt her anger fade. She understood little besides one thing, that the darkness was not behind the missing sun, nor her suffering. Had her journey been for naught? Would she ever feel the rays of the sun again? Bask in their glory, pick rocks on a cloudy summer's day? The Merkul was alone in her questions, but then again she wasn't. The dark held her in a blanket of nothingness that was cold and warm at the same time. So, she sniffed, what do I do now? To which the dark itself replied, you don't have to do anything. She took an hour's nap then and there, the blink of an eye by Merkul standards, and then she began the journey back home, which seemed much shorter now than it had before. Back home on her hill, memories of the Merkul's many encounters along the way came circling back into her mind. None of her new acquaintances had been able to answer her burning question, but they hadn't been a waste of time either. She knew not if the sun would return tomorrow, in another decade, century, or never. She knew now, however, that she didn't need to know. She had the dark, and in it, anything seemed possible. So busy with her search for answers, ever since she'd left home, she'd completely forgotten to look up. The stars twinkled in the night sky, and there were so many, and they kept her good company. If only a little rock-picking Merkul could know that the seemingly tiny stars were in fact thousands upon thousands of suns. The end.
What were they thinking? That thing was meant to remain dead. I'm never gonna come out again, no sir, and here it's just me. Alone, some ragdoll with his mask. Alone and at peace. They burned it all away, and for what? Shine a little light on things? I can see just fine in the dark. In the dark, I can see everything clear as day. What were they thinking?
With wire, clay, and fire, the craftsmen built the foundations, followed by the trees and the rocks. And after them came little houses for us tiny ones to cower in. For existence was so big, so vast, that without a roof above one's head, one could have fallen straight into the skies. And yet, with all that stuff, they didn't know what to do with us. So I reckon that's why they built the Midnight Walk. For us to wander, for lack of reason.
The crawlers eat fire, it's true, they do, but most of all they feed on you. Don't you know? Howdy do. Didn't you hear? They eat you too. Fire, fire, aye, it's true. Close your eyes. Listen. They sense you. They feel you. That's so beautiful. We discovered something deep in the woods. Not crawlers or ghosts, but something else. Something in between. A presence that affects us all. We tried to trap it, but to no avail. We tried to slap a name on it. Manifest a pair of glaring eyes in search of its face. Something to name, so that we could tame it. But the dark itself isn't any thing. It is less than nothing, and also more than everything. Behind, and behind, and we invented these shell phones so we could try to talk to it. It picks up the phone on the other side, but it doesn't speak back. Not directly, at least. It transmits little nasty recordings, memories or echoes of things that came before, that passed through its drapes. I wonder if one day someone will hear my echo.
I lost my way again. It's getting dark now, but the dark is a well of ideas. A blank canvas full of possibilities. The dark itself is the key. All it needs is a little spark, and then I get what I need. It hungers for fire. So I take a match, I light it, and I offer it. I give it freely. I have to surrender. The mushrooms whisper of a new bird in down. They tell us her nest lies beyond the cold, cold moon. And she came here to witness tragedies. She feeds on these tales you see, sucking their fire dry like marrow from a bone. Her eyes are on us now. Like a vulture she waits, knowing that we somebodies are about to tear each other apart. Mind over body! 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 The body stands their approach over the mountain vein and violent. We ragdolls observe, we record, and we mimic. Their faces are masks, they do not know what the sordid yearning hides behind. The hands will tell, we put on a mask, we perform, and we put on a show. Hands up! Ready! Up! Break with your boots! Take with your hand! Bodies full of fire! The fire is ours! Take the charge! Take the fire! I've had enough. First it was the big Mogrim hunt, and then when they forced us out into that make-a-forgiven swamp. I hate hiking. And then when we had nothing left to hunt, we started fighting each other. And then Mr. Mayor gets this grand idea that we should chop our own heads off and banish our bodies. How does that even scientifically work? I've had enough of civilization.
We Malgrims have a special relationship with fire. We do not cook over it. We do not shed tales around it. We care not for its warmth. Ours is a different connection entirely. Fire is our window to truth and into the world beyond clay, to which we must return. We are noble beings, bringers of bugs, slime, and mushrooms to help decompose the old and to bring about the new. We are the caretakers of this world, and woe be to those who seek to end us, for they seek to end themselves.
I had a flame once. It was beautiful and bright, spread its light brought me and my neighbors warmth. and it was always hungry. No matter how much I fed it, it kept on growing and growing, and one day it got big enough to start walking the long road. I didn't guide it. It dragged me along for the ride. I followed it for a long time. Would the road ever end? What was the point of the walk? Things kind of spiraled. Road took me on dangerous detours that didn't make sense. Before I knew it, my flame began to fade until it... Well, I don't think I was meant to carry this flame.
Hello, Mother. The well said to give it a match, so you and I could talk again. I hope this works, because that was my last one, and well... It's cold now, but it doesn't matter. We can finally talk, after everything. So, how are you? Do they have fire where you are? Not the hellish kind, I hope. Is Father there too? I think you should talk to him again. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I know he loves you still. I love you. Still. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel anything.
How could this happen? Whoever did this? Oh, the flame warms the righteous, but the wicked who love destruction, the flame burns with a passion. How will we warm the furnace?
Feed the thief to the furnace!
Feed the thief to the furnace! Coalhaven is doomed! On the wicked the flame shall rain fiery coals and burning sulfur. A scorching wind shall be their lot. Come forth, thief, and confess your hideous crime!
Furnace is getting weak. Council says we're running out of matches.
We'll have to harvest more trees then.
I don't like it. Losing the forest like this.
Not like we have a choice.
Mom, Dad,
Oh, Curly, you startled me.
they're coming here. All of them.
What's that you're holding?
It's just a match.
The story goes of a nameless maker who pulled creative spark from the dark itself without giving it fire. With his dark source, he managed to create swaths of land in no time. The dark itself waited for a gift of fire, but the Maker just kept on taking. Too busy building his crooked fences and watchtowers, kept his fire locked away in his chest. One day, he decided to create the first people to inhabit and appreciate his creation. It was then that the dark corrupted the Maker's clay, guided his greedy hands into creating not people, but the first of the fire-eating crawlers. And they crawled into this world absolutely starving. The fella who watches over the midnight walk, pointy hat and hollow gaze. He's been around longer than you or I. Some say he was one of the first sculptures to have breath. Some say he's not from around here, but from another Maker's work table entirely. Some say he's seen what lies beyond Moon Mountain. But I just think he's lost like the rest of us, and he's waiting for the right one to come along. Waiting for something that'll give him that eureka for his song. He keeps his banjo by his side, but he never plays it. Strange, but he's in no hurry. He's got all the time in the world.
The sarcophagi are molds, rebirthing the bodies of the burnt one. Failure after failure, they keep coming back. They lie dormant, and then they awake at an appropriate time, during times of dark, to perform a task. The taskmaster unknown, doom spelled on the flip side of a coin. Little dolls in a dollhouse made of matches.
Most of my life, I've been afraid of the dark. When I was little, my childminder got annoyed with me and tossed me into a wardrobe as punishment. She let me sit there, alone, and I sat perfectly still so that no closet monsters would notice me. It was the longest, most terrible 15 minutes. Many years later, I don't know what happened, but now I love sitting alone in the dark. I get into the wardrobe, close the doors, and I sit perfectly still. It's like a void, empty, but not cold, where nothing exists and everything is possible.
The first two-legged beings did prosper under the first sun, but it didn't matter how much they bathed in its light. They craved more. They sought to cage the sun, harness its power, and make it theirs. But the Makers, in their foresight, had put the sun far, far away. So far that no creature could reach it. That's why, in their desperation, the two-legged ones began to collect matches, lighting them like minuscule suns of their own. But there are only so many matches in this world, and one day they'll run out. And they shall once again look to the sun.
It's just gone. I had this wretched gut feeling like something was up, like something was on the way, a danger I never could have guessed. I figured that's just how I always feel, and my worries seldom come true. And now here I am, and I have been for some time now, and it just won't come back. I don't think it... While I had it, I didn't know what to do with it, how to care for it, enjoy it. But if I had it again tonight, I'd probably waste it all over again.
When I was a child, I exchanged letters with a monster in the woods. We were best pals, and we shared all our secrets with each other. One day, my sister told me that the monster wasn't real, that she'd written me all those letters to play a joke on me. But the joke's on her, because I knew the truth about the monster in the woods, and we exchange letters to this day. When the nameless maker lost his creation to the dark, he went back to the great drawing board. In his desperation to regain control, he made an attempt to sculpt the face of the dark itself, something he thought he'd glimpsed in his nightmares. But the face wormed itself out of his mind's eye, and instead his twisted sculptures came alive, grinning and many-legged. Thus, the grinners escaped and seeped into this world as a reminder to the maker that there's always something to smile about, even when things don't go the way you hoped.